and also available via the VFL app. And we also welcome our listeners on SEN2 for today's clash. It is Socket to MMD round today as well. A number of clubs across the VFL and VFL Women's will be participating wearing the Fight MMD socks. And great to see the support of so many clubs right across Victoria, not only the VFL Women's, but local leagues, local clubs that are helping the fight against MMD, wearing the blue socks this weekend, and record sales for the socks this year as well, with the Socket to MMD and Fight MMD rounds in the AFL and across Victoria, raising close to $5 million, which is fantastic. Great to see a number of the Fight MMD beanies in the crowd today as well. In the middle of the ground, the toss of the coin is going on between plenty of co-captains out there as I introduce the team. A very good morning to, firstly, Blair Morton.
Good day, Anthony. Great to be here at Princess Park on what is a pretty nice winter's day for footy.
It certainly is. Also, James Strebanos joining us here today, and looking forward to having you back in the team this week, James.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd get invited back, but here I am. And yeah, there was a bit of drizzle. I was walking into the gates this morning, but it's cleared up, and it should be a good game.
Yeah. Anthony, you mentioned the toss, so jump in. Plain winning the toss, rather Danuccio winning the toss for the Bulldogs, kicking to the legend stand left of screen and left of the dial for those that are sitting at home.
Big game today for these two teams, and especially for the Carlton Football Club, yet to open their account for season 2019. Went close last week up against one of the top 6 teams in NT Thunder, but very important going up against the top of the ladder and undefeated Western Bulldogs. You'd look at this game, you'd think, well, third bottom versus top, we're not in for much of a contest, but I think this is going to be a ripper today with the ins and outs for both teams. Yeah,
absolutely. And you're coming in to Carlton at a bit of a fortress here. It's not like some of the other grounds that we play on that's a little bit more open, and they're a bit more sort of in a park kind of setup. But here we're really surrounded by a grandstand at the old Princess Park and at the home of the Blues. So they'll come out to play, I'm sure. And it's no easy task I don't imagine, to travel up here to Princess Park and have a win. So the Dogs have got their work cut out today.
They have. James, your thoughts on the game?
Well, I'm actually tipping Carlton for an upset today. I think we've got Presparkis and Moody. We know how good they are in the middle, and if they can get their game going, then I wouldn't be surprised to see an upset.
Yeah, looking at the ins and outs for both teams. For Carlton, Germanier in, Edwards out. I believe, injured with a shoulder injury for 3 to 4 weeks. And for the Western Bulldogs, a number of changes. Dundon, Crundle, Gogos, Blackburn, probably the biggest in of the lot. And going out, probably 2 of the biggest outs, Brooke Lachlan and Michaela Ward out of the team. Gamble Wilds and also Tazari out of that team. So some really big outs. And one of the things that I noticed for the Western Bulldogs, their 2 leading goal scorers for the year, Danielle Marshall and Michaela Ward, both kicking 5 goals apiece, both out of the team today. Marshall overseas and Michaela Ward out injured with a calf injury. So as you said, James, really opens it up for Carlton today. Probably the deficiency of both these two teams has been their goal scoring this year. For Western Bulldogs have done okay with, as we said, Marshall and Ward, but Carlton really need to find the goals today. Blair, kick us off in this round 6 clash.
As we get underway, the Rucks go at it, brought down. Ball's held up right in the centre circle, hasn't moved an inch, and we're going to go up again as we travel 10 seconds here early in the first quarter. Round 6 Swiss Wellness clash at Princess Park between, or rather I should say Icon Park, between Carlton and the Western Bulldogs. Carlton are out here, hand pass, went looking for Hosking, couldn't get it off the deck. Now a scrum of bodies dispossessed is a Bulldogs player. In the tackle, another scrum in shoes on top. The ball ends up spilling out. Umpire letting a bit go here. Play continues, not going very far. And another restart well inside the centre square. So no metres gained for either side.
Looking forward to the matchup of Kirsten McLeod v Sarah Hosking out on the wing here.
Go Carlton with it out this time, out behind the contest. Hosking, there she is, gives a handball out to go onto the pump though, got tackled, dispossessed and brought down. Now kicking forwards Blackburn for the Bulldogs, centre half forward position. Hosking was there for Carlton, over her head. Now the ball's in dispute on the ground. Couple on it, tackle laid and the ball up. Footscray inside 50.
Just look in the Dogs forward line, no one is deep, it's all free and vacated, so look for open space and a goal coming.
That's the matchup that I've been looking forward to today. Brianne Mooney versus Nicole McMahon, two of the leading
free kick gone here.
rucks this season, and it will be the Bulldogs to take the first shot at goal today. Free kick going against Hosking. Looked at the handball, play on Scott. No, not just calling the players away from the contest. Annabelle Scott, 2 goals so far this year, goes long towards goal. Moody back, also back Presparkas, I should say. Ball 25 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. Was a welcome return to the Blues lineup last week for Maddie Presparkas. Already leading their disposal count. 29 last week and 11 clearances. Great performance by her coming back into this Blues lineup, and I think that combination of Moody and Presparkas will be one to watch as the season continues. There it is there. That was Hosking and Presparkas. Now on the outer side, Stevens. Kick was smothered, but she gets a second effort on the outer side, and the Bulldogs mark and will look to go back into attack.
So coughed up on the wing there, did Stevens. Western Bulldogs at true centre wing, give a little chip kick over to Gavalis. She's just edging the flank, goes up the line, has a girl on the lead, brought down. It was Crundle, brought it to ground. Footscray, Western Bulldogs still in possession. Ball's really in dispute though. It's Dow footy early as the Bulldogs gain it again. Handball out the back, went to Too Good. She kicked up the line, the kick's affected. Now Carlton pounce and they've got the ball. They're running off the wing. Again, another player dispossessed. Ball down. Not much happening here as the ball's in dispute and no team can gain any clear possession as the Western Bulldogs going to kick up the line. Mark taken on centre wings. They need to take a bit of time to suck some pressure out of the game here. Get it back on their terms. As almost all the players on the ground are in 1/4 of the ground on the outer side wing, really causing a lot of pressure. Bulldogs get another mark. They come back inside. This one gets Hunt. So Hunt's on the wing, got it all in front of her having a look. Not much happening for Hunt. He's got a few leads on. Ends up going outside to a safe kick. Mark taken there by Western Bulldogs.
Gemma Wright has the job on Sarah Jolly today.
So Hunt leads back in and gets it again. But again, it's just a very short 15-metre kick and she elects to go out a further right up against the boundary line. Not the best attacking position as the Western Bulldogs go inside 50. Ball on the ground. Carlton defenders get there first. Now there's a scrum of bodies over. Ball's nearly spilling out. It's Hosking gets a kick away. Mark not taken, not far enough. Slashing a kick out to Carlton. They go to half-back flank. Now over the footballer a couple. They want to get it out. Looking for Bramage. She was outside the contest wanting it. The ball gets wrapped up in a good Western Bulldogs tackle.
Western Bulldogs defence holding up really well as Carlton are getting first hands to the ball. Every time they kick it out of defensive 50, it just goes straight to the Western Bulldogs.
It's Dow football at the moment, James. There's not much happening. It's very stopped up. It's almost like watching a rugby union game. It's not travelling far. There's not much clean possession as the umpire's seen it the same way. Pulls a free kick out, going the way of the Western Bulldogs on the half-forward flank. Still on that outer side position where we've been logged for a little while now. Playing on, running into 50. Long kick, puts it on the head at full forward, spills out the back, a snap, it's going to bounce in the goal square, it's got to bounce well. Hosking got there first, and getting it stolen on the line there was Dundon, snapping for Western Bulldogs, and they go ahead first. No goal, 1 Western Bulldogs. Carlton yet to hit the scoreboard as we're away from full back. Carlton are away. Long kick up the ground. Out on the wing, but it's coughed up and turned over to Hunt. Hunt goes inside. She's got Too Good. Too Good now at centre half forward position for the Bulldogs, so they get a bit of reprieve here. It's coughed up by Carlton in defence. Too Good goes down long, but taking a strong mark back with the flight to Carlton defender, who elects to play on and go out to the pocket. Mark, it went over 2, looking for Mackay. Mackay now, she's going to get the handball off the ground nearly. Whistle gone, it's a throw. Footscray, or Western Bulldogs, called to play on. They didn't seem to want it, so the kick was hurried away early. The umpire called play on. A little bit of chaos for a moment there as the ball was just out on its own. Carlton regather now. They get it out to Stevens at centre-half back. Handball away again, no good. Western Bulldogs get there first. Good strong tackle laid, and it's a ball up inside the centre square. Western Bulldogs centre-half forward position.
So ball on the outer side. Carlton leading in the race for the football. McKay, I should say, on the outer side. Blackburn. Kick intercepted. Great work by the Blues. They go long on the outer side wing. They open it up, but that ball goes over the line, so it'll be a free kick. Chris Gergel will take the free kick for last possession out of bounds. They're kicking short, looking for Moody. Moody long inside forward 50. Goes inside that forward 50 arc. Too good leading back in the race for it. Gets her kick away. Now opens it up on that outer side. Here comes the Bulldogs. Blackburn now gets a handball across. They're running it through the middle of Icon Park. Lamb goes wide. Mullins will go wide further. They've got the runners, but to intercept it, Mason. Oh, missed the football. Taken to ground. Good tackle by Bromwich. Still working hard for the ball is Mason.
And Hunt's down behind play here.
She is in that contest with Mason in the tackle. And she went for the football.
As you said, Anthony, is a really strong Bromwich tackle. Not anything sinister in it, but Hunt didn't move for a little while. Very slow to get up. We've called time on now. She's pretty close to the contest while she's getting some attention from the trainer. Still on the ground, sitting up. In control of herself now as she's up. She's going to run off, so we'll keep an eye on that as we go on with Hunt off. We're back underway. Ball spills out the back. Again, it's in hot dispute over it was Jess Hosking. She got there first, just got the handball out. It spilled out to Blackburn, roves it off the ground, pops one off at goal, but sprayed it right across the face, out of bounds on the full. Footscray peppering the forward line, but yet to capitalise on those inside 50s and shots on goal. Carlton get the free kick.
Don't let Blackburn in open space. We just saw a little glimpse of it there.
So Wilson to bring the ball back into play. Kicks it long to defensive 50. Pressbarker's taken to ground. Blackburn now. She's got a chance to make up for it. Still offline to the left-hand side. Getting closer towards those goals, Ellie Blackburn. And another behind on the board. And on the Choose Tap scoreboard, that second behind on the board for the Bulldogs.
Jess Hosking goes off half-back straight up the ground to Chisholm. Centre half-back still deep inside their defensive 50. Her kick outside to the wing. Put her player in Wilson under pressure. She's set upon. Whirled around in the tackle, nearly holding the ball. She just got the handball out. Now the Dogs are really out. Handball went up. No clean possession from Mullins. She coughed it up. Gave it to Stevens, who gives a bit of a don't argue, and off she goes. Handball back. Carlton kick up the line. Cut off by the Dogs. Brought to ground. Scrum rolls over the top now. Dragged in maybe a Bulldogs player. No, says the umpire, and a ball up. Outer side wing again. We're pushed up in that position. Outer side underneath the Richard Pratt stand here at Icon Park. Rucks bring it down. Again, the ball just spills free. A few players having a go at it as the scrum rolls over. No clean possession. Footscray just pushing it forward. Now a kick off the ground when searching. Still no clean possession gathered as picking it up off the ground. Well, Carlton, but a free kick for holding the players paid earlier. They play on. Shot popped off at goal. It's on the header, full forward from behind. Couldn't take the mark, was Dundon, but brought it to ground. Now the cavalry come for Carlton, and Hosking's there. Hosking gave a great blind turn. Gave a handball out. She wants it back. Hand pass again, went inside, looking for her sister, it might have been. This time it's Woods who's got it. Woods gave the handball out, but it's coughed up. The Western Bulldogs have it. They kick inside, just a kick and hope chaos ball to the top of the square area. Gogan got there, Chisholm got there first. She couldn't get it away cleanly. And again, there's just pressure everywhere. It's a frenetic game with lots happening, and that kick inside 50 for the Western Bulldogs came to nothing as Carlton Cavalry got in and able to stop it up.
Bulldogs having all the entries, just failing to lower the eyes when entering.
Cubash got the tap down, but it comes out the back to Blackburn. Sidesteps a couple, centering kick, finds her target, and Kirsty Lamb takes the mark. Will be too far out to score. For the option, maybe running around the back. No one going with them. Rudin providing that option. See what they do. They kick in short, but kick intercepted by Gemma Wright. So handball's on. Gets the ball quickly on to a teammate in Woods. From the half-forward line. Again, Lamb, centering kick. And it is Jess Hosking taking the intercept mark across that half-back line for Carlton.
It's been good here in defence early, Hosking. She's stymied a couple of those Bulldogs attacks inside 50.
Gets it on to McKay. McKay kicks in short. Moving it slowly but surely, the Blues just building. But again, a poor kick goes to McLeod. McLeod. And this is the difference. Look at the short passing by the Western Bulldogs at the moment. Zelly Blackburn. Low kick, jolly. I don't think she expected it coming to her. She's besieged. Gets it out to a teammate. They go long towards goal. Offline. And that's Mackay off to the left-hand side and through for one behind. The third behind on the board for the Bulldogs. You're watching VFL.com.au and listening on SEN2.
As Hoskins sells a little bit of candy, goes up the centre half-back flank. Strong mark taken here, and Carlton starting to look a little bit better. First time we've seen play on the inner side wing here underneath commentary position. It's found Prespakis. She's right up against it in front of her own bench. Alexa, a short little chip kick, put her girl under big pressure in plane, brought to ground and hacking forwards McLeod for the Bulldogs, who are off again. Just run over the ball with Scott. Free kick paid, pushing the player, and the Western Bulldogs get a free kick through Annabelle Scott. The old Geelong player has a look up the ground. Annabelle Scott, Alexa, a short little chip kick. Finds her player in Mackay. Mackay goes up, forward on the lead. Nearly was Dundon. Just didn't get there. And going back with the flight again was Hosking. And now Carlton have a little bit of a reprieve as Prespakis just gets one up along the wing. Tapped down, but guess who's there? It's too good for the Dogs, and they're away again. McLeod's got it. She chips inside to a chaos position. No player there. She just put it where she thought it ought to go. Carlton hack one off the ground from defence. Not much came of that, and now the ball's in real dispute. Charging through the pack there was Lamb. She's wrapped up. Strong tackle by Wright. It's a ball up just inside the centre square. Western Bulldogs half-forward position. Scott had it, lost it. Handball up to McLeod. McLeod's got time. She puts it out in front of a player on the lead just too much. Woods is there to wrap it up for Carlton. She gives a bit of a push away. Gives it back to trusty Hosking. Hosking uses it well, goes out to space at centre half back. If Carlton use it cleanly here, they're away. Handball's come out to Hosking. This is Sarah now. She gave it to Woods. Woods is set upon, brought down in the tackle. That might be holding the ball. Western Bulldogs pop one up to full forward. Overrunning the ball. Now Carlton can come in, but guess who's there? It's Blackburn. She keeps it in front of her. She's up against the boundary line, tackled strongly. And Carlton happy to see it go out of bounds deep in their defensive pocket up against the legend stand.
I'm really liking the matchup between McLeod and Prespakis. Very interesting to watch, and McLeod is using both sides of her feet going forward.
Yeah, also good work then defensively by Gemma Wright, just to push Blackburn over the line and over the boundary line. We'll see the boundary throw in now. At the back, Neil. No one able to get a clean possession from the throw in. Mackay, and we will have a ball up. Still 35 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. They've done all the scoring during this first term. Ball comes out. Wilson, handball to a teammate by Mackay. Didn't run with it. Now Wilson fighting for the football again, former Eastern Ranger. And we will see a ball up. Edging closer to that first goal of this game. 3 behinds on the board on the Tuesday scoreboard. Here at Icon Park today. Kubash with the tap down. The ball comes out. McMahon. Oh,
lovely torpedo.
Yeah, off her chest. Now, great defensive effort by the Bulldogs. That was Betts. Ball heads over the boundary line, and we will see a boundary throw in. Right on this broadcast side wing, forward half for the Western Bulldogs.
No inside 50 entries for Carlton as of yet.
No, they're getting Mia Ray Clifford came a long way up the ground to try and get a look at the football. Hasn't seen much of it yet. And a few of their teammates also venturing down towards the middle. Free kick going the way of the Western Bulldogs now.
So that's a last touch rule going out to Emma Mackay with the Bulldogs. Half forward flank. Underneath the broadcast position, just goes up long, puts it again where she thought it ought to be, not where the player is, but Scott's out the back. She just needs some clean possession, nearly got it, was set upon by Woods, put real pressure on Woods. Didn't give Scott the time to dispose of the ball properly and ends up pretty happy to see it go out of bounds in a attacking pocket. Annabelle Scott will get a ball in. Deep inside Bulldogs attacking 50, approaching the first break. We go up, rucks go at it. Ellie Blackburn forced to do the rucks with the Bulldogs, lost that battle. Woods went to Hosking. They've been good early. McLeod's going to run onto it first, so nearly gave it away. Streaming out of the back line with Carlton at half back, and the kick and hope just went forward to no one in particular, and it's the Bulldogs from centre half back who are able to get there first. Kick went to Scott on half forward flank. She just dropped the chest mark, managed to get it up, wheel it around. Kick went looking in the direction of Xanthos. Xanthos was set upon and holding the player. Free kick paid against the Bulldogs, who seem to be in possession of the ball. And Carlton get away with one. Again on the last line of defence. They get a pardon through a free kick. A long kick up the wing. Finds a player. So Carlton really pushed up against it here. He's approaching the main break. Yet to go inside 50, as we just heard James say. They're yet to really be in their half of the ground for most of the game. Mark taken now by Abby Mackay. She's going to try and be the first to get it inside 50. Her kick and hope went looking for Moody. Moody marks and ends up playing on. Here we go, an inside 50. She kicks it into space. She's got a runner out here. It's a foot race. Ball's on the deck. It's picked up and gathered. Brought down in a tackle though. Now the Bulldogs rushing to get it over the line, and they do. So Carlton with their first inside 50. It wasn't the cleanest football you'll see. Didn't quite get it to any player on the lead. Ended up seeing it out of bounds as we approach the main break, or rather the first break here at Icon Park.
Well, Daniel Harford looking after the forwards today for Carlton. We're happy that he's finally got something to talk to his forwards about with the ball going inside that forward 50 arc. Here's another chance for the Blues. Good work by Plain off the ball with the bump. Hosking, handballs inside forward 50. Press-Barkas, handballs back, gets it back, centering, kick. Oh, great work. Courtney Bromwich right in front of goal. Opportunity to put it through for not only the first score on the board for the Blues, but also the first goal of the day.
This will be valuable against play.
So with a couple of minutes left in the first quarter, she hits the post and through for one behind. But the Blues are on the board, one behind, 1 point. Western Bulldogs 3 behind, 3 points. That, of course, on the Choose Tap scoreboard here on VFL.com.au.
So Bulldogs go off half back, but the kick not good. Only got as far as Plain for Carlton. Brought it down. Press-Barkas was there. She's right up against the line. Puts it in attacking position. Mark taken in front of goal by Carlton. And they're going to get another shot to Hosking.
That is twice Madison Press-Barkas just lowering the eyes and centering the ball and creating a really good opportunity at goal.
That's right. She didn't rush the kick away. She took her time and she found Sarah Hosking. The sisters have been teaming up very well early, and Sarah Hosking could get Carlton away here, and she does. Carlton get the first major of the day right against traffic, and don't they like it? As we're about to go to quarter time, Hosking gets one on the board, so Carlton go 1-1-7 over Western Bulldogs, who've had all the play, 0-3-3.
Isn't that deflating? One against the Tide. Western Bulldogs have had all the play this quarter, and in only their third entry, Carlton get a goal. It's a good forward work by the Blues.
Certainly was. And there is that siren. Couldn't have been more timely for the Blues to end the first term. And they do so with, well, it didn't look like that they'd be leading at quarter time for the majority of that quarter. And they do at quarter time, and it is 1-1-7 Carlton, Western Bulldogs, 3 behinds, and only one goal scorer to talk about, and that is Sarah Hosking. with 1 goal for the Blues. James, your thoughts on that first term and a late comeback, you'd have to say, from the Blues?
What an interesting game. You wouldn't have picked that halfway through the first quarter that Carlton would be in front at quarter time. I thought McLeod got off to a beautiful start for the Bulldogs, so did Blackburn, and then Scott later on in the quarter got going. But then Prasparkas, just in only their first and third entries, just lowered the eyes, found the play, and they got 2 scoring opportunities late, and now they find themselves in front.
Yeah, I think they were holding on defensively. Defensive pressure was pretty good, but their ability to then move the ball, I thought, Blair, every time that they were going for those short chip kicks out of defence, they were always getting intercepted by the Bulldogs. But when they started kicking a bit longer, it worked out for them.
And that's how they've just got a couple of shots on goal, one resulting in a goal, was they've used this huge open space here at Icon Park. Western Bulldogs played a lot of that opening term right up against the flanks and the boundary line over in the opposite side wing. But it was Moody who took a mark at centre-half forward. Could have just gone back, taken her kick, kicked it long inside 50. Instead, played on, kicked it out into a paddock and gave her runners time and space. And as I said, it ended up going for 2 shots on goal. One of them was a goal, but Carlton using that space and the run to their advantage and using the size of the ground.
Well, you are watching the round 6 Socket to MMD Swiss Wellness, a VFL women's clash between Carlton and the Western Bulldogs. For our video stream watchers, just have seen some of the highlights from that first term. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with the second term live here from Icon Park here on VFL.com.au.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yeah! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality? Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work. Totally Workwear.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL, live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
Where you go?
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly, you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes behind.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back to Icon Park in Carlton. Round 6 Swiss Wellness VFL Women's action. Top of the ladder, Western Bulldogs undefeated. They're being challenged by Carlton in this clash, with Carlton scoring late in the last couple of minutes of the term and getting the lead at quarter time. They lead 1-1-7 to the Western Bulldogs at 3 behinds. James, run us through some of your better players from the first term of this clash.
Well, Kirsten McLeod really caught my eye. I think she was good, especially on both feet, and she's one of the only players on the ground to use that ability. Ali Blackburn was good early as well, and then Scott got into the game later. And I thought Mackay and the Hosking sisters were good for Carlton, and so was Prespakis, who set up the goal late.
Yeah, looking forward to the second term and some of the matchups. Looking on the wing here, Nicola Stevens. We've probably become accustomed to her down in a defensive role in the past, but getting a bit more freedom up the ground, starting on the wing today. In the middle of the ground, we've got Prespakis, and we've also got Hosking. Ali Blackburn also lining up in the middle. As we mentioned, that matchup, Moody versus McMahon, is going to be definitive over the final 3 quarters of this game. Umpires just waiting for the last of the crowd to leave the oval. A big double-header game of VFLW today. Northern Blues versus Footscray to follow at 1 o'clock today. Blair Morton, take us away for the second term.
Moody got it down to Hosking. That'll be a dangerous partnership if they can continue on today. Hosking got it back up off the deck, but streaming through was Lamb, and the Bulldogs go to half forward. Brought down in the contest, ball in dispute, centre half forward position for the Bulldogs. Handball not gaining any space. It's the ball up. So Lamb streamed through that contest, broke the pack. Kick forward was good. It was just hard and flat. Didn't give us enough forward enough of a chance to take the mark, but it's good play. So Bulldogs are now inside 50 again. Roving, it's Blackburn. She gets one tackle down, but this time one stuck. Just got the kick away to McLeod. She's got space, sizes it up, tries to wheel one around on the right. Just doesn't bend it back enough. And the Bulldogs get yet another minus score. They go 0 goals, 4 behinds, 4. Carlton leading 1-1-7.
So kicking in short, finding Prespakis deep in defence. 1-on-1. Blackburn versus Stevens. I mean, teammates back in some exhibition games at the Bulldogs. Handball comes out, Stevens again. Onto Prespakis. She's under pressure from Jolly. Taken too high though. And free kick will go the way of Maddie Prespakis. As we said, great return from her last week. Kicks to Stevens. On the mark, here's McLeod. Back to Prespakis, racking up the disposals here at Icon Park, and finds Hosking.
She's just coming off the bench, I think. It was a lucky kick. She was looking up on the lead for Gurr, and Hosking just happened 50. To come off and pluck it.
So Blackburn being taken down to the forward 50 arc. Inside the forward 50 arc. Hosking now will look for a target. Moody just putting her arms up. That's where she goes. Oh, too easy. It was all in slow motion. Moody actually said, just kick it out in front of me, and then almost walked to it.
I don't think she could believe she got out into so much space, almost unopposed. I don't know, her player had obviously been led off or got confused in a little contest, and yeah, Moody couldn't believe her luck.
Well, I think she was a bit surprised. It took her 2 grabs to take the mark, because I think she was waiting for the contact. Doesn't finish it off, but puts it high to the goal square at the full plane, round the corner and through for another behind. 1-2-8 Carlton. Western Bulldogs 4 behinds on the Choose Tap scoreboard. Must comment also Nicola Stevens last week taking out the #1 play in the plays of the week. Great snap from the pocket as Prespakis misses the mark.
Prespakis really stood up in that mark, and she's still down as a result of it. McLeod came up again, nothing sinister in it, but it was a big, strong contest. Prespakis waves away Nicola Stevens, who came to have a look, make sure she's okay. She's getting some attention now from the train. She's pretty close. Umpire elects to call play on. Bulldogs go up. Mark taken by McMahon. McMahon goes a little bit wider, gets Betts. So Betts deep on her half-forward flank, or rather back flank.
It's a name the Carlton supporters have missed from Icon Park for a while.
Betts goes up, went up the wing, ball brought to ground. Luckily, Gavalis came in, got it off the deck, wheels around with a snap up the line. But now the ball's really on the ground and in dispute, and Carlton get it up through Chisholm. Chisholm gave it away, though, with a long handball out to nothing, and it's come back to Gavalis. Another roll of the dice. Gavalis goes up to McLeod, brought down in the contest, and then might have been tackled off the ball. She's still down. McLeod's down, getting a bit of attention from the trainer as the ball rolls on. Another couple of tackles laid, haven't travelled very far. McLeod comes up, she looks okay.
James, a physical contest to start this second term.
Carlton really putting on the pressure. They feel like they're on top, and they probably are.
Moody won it out of the ruck and got a free kick for her efforts here. Got one high from a desperate McMahon who just wanted to do what she could to hold Moody up.
Oh, I'm loving this battle between the rucks in this game.
Moody probably having the better of it early here. Her kick's good. Goes over the contest. Might have been lucky. Fell in Jarvis's lap. Jarvis has it all in front of her. Centre wing. Gave it. Got it back. Now she's got some space. Lobs one up inside. 50 from behind. Nearly a mark taken. Ball goes down. No Crummers there to get it. It was right from behind it. Carlton player who just brought the ball down. Ball up. Deep inside Carlton attacking 50.
So ball up. McMahon gets the tap down. No one in particular. Ball held up and the umpire will come in once again. It was Bailey Hunt holding on over the top. Up in the ruck. Cubash. Plain. Bromwich. Now just needs to pick it up. Gets it back to Nat Plain. Oh, didn't hold on to it. Now she's tackled to the ground. Chance for the Bulldogs to clear. They just need to get clean possession. They handball it out wide. Now good work to Mackay. Kicks out to the wide open space of the outer side, but Hosking first in the race. Gets it back over to the top, looking for Jarvis. She couldn't get her hands on it, but now a chance for the Bulldogs. Their handball intercepted. They go backwards to go forwards. Hosking again. They've got Stevens on in the middle. I haven't seen her. Now Woods. She's tackled to the ground and ball the call. And the Bulldogs are rewarded on that outer side. I'll take the free kick. Look to go in short. They do so now. Sandrell looking further afield. They go out wide. Probably need to go back towards the corridor, but Hosking, the intercept. Bit of kick to kick between the two teams at the moment. Back to Sandrell again, a second opportunity. Goes long, no mark taken. Emerson Woods get it back out to Hosking. Ball held up on that outer side wing. The Bulldogs with the numbers now. Chris Gergel goes backwards to go forwards. They go back towards the middle. Good punch away from Stevens. Can't take the defender out of her as she punched the ball away. Cubash got her kick away as Pressbarkers kicks towards the middle of Icon Park. Bouncing football. Pressure football from Carlton. Holding the play of the decision, and the Bulldogs clear.
They give away a pretty hurtful free kick there as Hunt comes up through the guts. She coughed it up though, hit Woods on the chest. She dropped it. Now the ball's up, and Lamb takes a good strong mark, centre half forward position for the Bulldogs. She elects to go wide, kicks it out into space, which we've talked about being a good idea today. Davies is there to get there first, but a ripping tackle late. It's a strong, heavy tackle by maybe Stevens. It was Nicholas Stevens doing the tackling, bringing Davies down and really cutting off that attack that was nearly inside 50. As we've said, James, Carlton desperate here. We go up. Ball brought down, a hip and shoulder again laid by Stevens, who's getting physical. Hosking's got it. 360s around the back of the contest. Nearly loses McLeod. Just gets time for a kick away to the wing. But getting its Lamb. Lamb throws it on the boot, puts it up on the lead, gets in front. Nearly. Now the Bulldogs have it. They wheel around. Hand pass went out to Jolly. She hacks a kick forward. Nearly taking the mark. McMahon. Now the ball's in dispute and Carlton have it. They're away out of the pocket and a long kick up onto the flank, and here we've got some space. Clifford's going to get it if she gets there first, but instead it was Christy Gergel who's there first. Doing very well is Clifford. Dispossesses Gergel and then goes forward. Put on the head of Hosking. Hosking lost it in the contest, and the Bulldogs bounce back. And they're away out on the wing now, but there's numbers there for both sides. Ruden's got it. She kicks it up to the half-forward position. Going back with the flight was Wright for Carlton. She gave it over to Woods. Woods back to Wright. Wright's being corralled. Gave it to Hosking, who just barrels one, a real old-fashioned torpedo up the ground. Only got as far as the Bulldogs' defenso out on the centre wing. And finally, the ball can have a bit of a rest as it's brought down underneath the Sam Smorgon scoreboard, outer side wing.
Ball up on the outer side. Chance for the Bulldogs. Haven't done much with it as they've gone up towards half forward because there's always been a Hosking cutting off play. This time Sarah Wright takes the mark at half forward for the Blues. Goes with a centering kick. Oh, Stevens couldn't take it. Brings the ball down. Now McLeod over the football. Will soccer it off the ground to try and get it outside a defensive 50. Here's a chance. That was Gurr. Tries to get the ball back now. Ball at ground level. Players stack on top of it and we'll have a ball up. 25 metres out from the Carlton goal. 1-2-8. They lead the Western Bulldogs 4 behind. Choose tap scoreboard. Bulldogs now. Blackburn went without it. Kick round the corner. Centering kick. Just went past German, couldn't take the mark. Jess Hosking. Hosking's tag team. The Twins making sure Xanthos was going nowhere with the football. Xanthos, the 23rd player today for the Western Bulldogs. Ball forward 50 for the Blues. Handball came out from Blackburn again. Stevens taken to the ground, but she didn't have it. So it goes against Kirsten McLeod. Stevens being told to come back. She'll take the free kick now. She goes short, ignores Mason on that occasion. Quite a few of the Bulldogs back to defend. And Blackburn, her kick intercepted again by Stevens. On to Hosking. Hosking inside forward 50. That's Jess. Goes long to the pocket. Not able to get across to it was Sarah Wright. And we will have a boundary throw-in. So the sisters Wright, Sarah playing forward and Gemma playing defensively in today's game. And a player just in the hands of the trainers.
Yeah. Cubash. She came down in a contest earlier. It was very slow to get up. It's very groggy. Needs some attention as the trainers come out to get her. It's a bit close to the play here as Hosking's got it. The handball goes in that Cubash direction now. The player's very close. The umpire pretty brave here, letting play go on as Stevens has it at her feet. Tried to tap it forward. Now she's going to get it back off the ground. She just gets around to tackle, throws it on her left boot. Up and going back with the flight nearly. Carlton. Bulldogs hack one away. Sent half back, and it's Lamb there underneath it. She gets to it first. Pretty good tackle. It wasn't Lamb, it was Danuccio. And she's brought down unfairly in a tackle. Wins a free kick for her troubles. As Sydney Kubach behind the plays finally coming off. Very groggy. We'll keep an eye on her for the rest of the afternoon, or rather morning so far, but have a bad feeling that might be her day done. Good strong mark in the contest. Nearly was right. You heard the call, play on. She set upon. She was very sure she'd taken it, held it up Stephen Kernahan style. Thought it was her mark. Bulldogs quick to jump on her there and ball up, centre wing. Hosking again having to do the ruck work here. Brought it down. McKay's underneath it. She's there first. A big sweeping handball. Wants it back. Gave it to Jarvis who plays on. Brought down in a pretty good tackle. Just gets the kick away. Bulldogs get their first off defence through Davies. Davies tackled. Now the ball's stopped up. And holding the ball, free kick paid. Umpire hot on that today. Going against the Bulldogs in Danuccio. And Carlton win the free kick in the centre square. They come out aside looking for Hosking. Prasparkas is there. She plays on. Goes up. Gets on the lead. And yes, good mark taken by Carlton in Gurr, who lines up for one 35 metres out, 45-degree angle.
Prasparkas again. They were bombing it into the forward all quarter, but then Prasparkas did what worked for her last quarter, and they've got another opportunity at goal.
Bit of Prasparkas class there as Gurr. She did have a look around to get it off early, but she's going to set herself and back herself. Bit of a stuttered run up. It looks okay though. It's just the distance she didn't have. Very straight kick. Mark taken on the last line of defence, and the Bulldogs go out to Gunn, who's happy to see it, go out of bounds, and a throw in underneath the legend stand, outer side pocket. Carlton's attacking 50.
Yeah, good mark on the last line, Mary Sandrell. Just got the job on Sarah Wright at the moment. Boundary throw in. McMahon v Moody. Moody with the handball out. Comes to the back of the pack. Bailey Hunt just corralled backwards. Now gets her kick away. That'll go out of bounds over the line. Free kick going the way of the Blues. Marnie Jarvis to take it. Has been the poster woman for the Blues in our video stream matches and broadcast games. Attending our media day at the start of the year for Carlton. So Moody will go long. Inside forward 50 for the Blues. Hosking thought about the long run up and leap. Didn't end up going for it at the end. Just kind of bypassed the pack. We'll have a ball up.
Hasn't the tides changed since late in that first quarter? Bulldogs were well on top, and now it's Carlton. And I think they've got a goal. No, it's a behind.
So out of the pack and through for one behind. So another blemish on the board for the Blues, 1-3-9. They lead Western Bulldogs 4 behinds on the Choose Tap scoreboard.
Play on out of defensive from the Bulldogs. Long kick, went up searching for Sandrell. The kick ended up putting her under a lot of pressure. Ended up being a 2-on-1, and Carlton got it through Gurr. She gave the handball to Bromwich. Bromwich puts up in front of Moody at centre-half forward, but back with the flight bravely was Mullins. She cuts it off for the Bulldogs, who have another chance to clear it from defence. Kick out to Lamb. So Lamb at centre-half back. Goes out of side. Short kick. Concedes a little bit of ground here as they try and set it up, the Bulldogs. Betts now. A little bit further forward up on their defensive back flank. Kick. Ooh, a good kick there. Just gets a player. That was in Betts. Not all in front of her. Here's Blackburn. Again, it's a short kick. Got Lamb. Lamb further up the wing, so they're just playing a bit of tempo football here, the Dogs. Just a little bit of checkers as they get one small kick up and up and up, building their way forward. This one's a longer one, and they mark taken in defence by Carlton, and Woods, who puts a stop to the Bulldogs' neat little build-up, has a crack of her own. She plays on. Alexa go long up the wing looking for Hosking from behind. Couldn't take it. Brought down. Handball now out to the Dogs. They're really out of side wing. Long kick forward up the line. Brought down again was Wood. Did well in the contest. Handball now up to the Bulldogs and Scott. Scott wheeled around. Just couldn't get the kick away. There for the Blues was Kassar. She just overran it. Now went back to Scott. Just boots it forwards, inside 50, out the back. Here go the Bulldogs. Dundon's there first. She just gets it. Bramage, so how was that tackle? Bramage brought it down, holding the ball. Free kick paid. And that is gutsy defence from Bramage, laying a huge tackle and stymieing what would have been a sure goal to Dundon had she got a clean possession.
How good was that tackle? That was a certain goal for the Bulldogs against the Tide.
So she'll reset for the Blues from defence. Kicks it out to defensive 50. Another chance for the Bulldogs. Go inside that arc, but Hosking now. Should almost have a bounce. Elects not to. Trips over her opponent. Couldn't take the mark on that occasion. Was Davies. Ball held up. And we will see a ball up.
The long kicks aren't working for either side. Both sides want to play tempo footy. When they're going the short kicks, it's paying off. So you need to take a bit of risks, go the short kicks.
Oh, the Blues want to make sure that it doesn't happen to them what they did to the Bulldogs in the first term, and it could as Blackburn goes long inside forward 50. Hosking, good defensive work. Went back, almost slipped over and gets a wobbly kick outside. Moody couldn't take it. Sister Hosking at the fall of the ball. Sarah got a kick away. Sandrell in the middle of Icon Park. Slung to the ground that time by Clifford. So
She got face planted.
Free kick going the way of the Bulldogs. A couple of minutes to work with this. And it's almost a mirror image of the first term. Can the Bulldogs do what the Blues do and get the late goal? They go long now. Bibby inside forward 50. Bouncing football. Wilson overran it. Ball at ground level. Wright coming in for support. Under plenty of pressure from Rudin. Now Hosking. Gets around a couple. Bromwich out wide on this half-back. Kicks it in short. Good time to settle. Bit of miscommunication between the players. Mason bombs it long with the top inside forward 50. Not able to take the mark, but they've received the free kick, the Bulldogs. And taking it in at defensive 50 was Gunn. Gets it out wide. Chris Gergel takes it. Short chip kick and finds Annabelle Scott a long way from home. Goes out wide to the outer side. They've got the runners. Lamb inside the last 60 seconds of the term. They need to move it quickly. Scott takes the mark. Need to move it very quickly. Long way from home. They go in short. Moving it probably too slowly. Mackay. 40 seconds left in the term. They go long. It's up towards the forward 50 arc now. Emerson Woods under plenty of pressure. Got the handball away. Moody. Good long kick. No mark taken by Mackay on the outer side. Time ticking away from the Bulldogs. They need to get it inside forward 50 now. They do. Long, but long and direct. And the mark taken, Mason. And it wasn't a mirror image of the first term as the Blues defence holding up across that defensive 50 line. And it is the Blues, 1-3-9. Just the two behinds during that second term. They lead the Western Bulldogs 4 behinds, 4 points. That, of course, on the Choose Tap scoreboard. Now, only goal scorer today has been Sarah Hosking, kicking that late one in the first term. And our second term, James, coming up goalless.
Yeah, it was goalless, but it was still interesting. Almost a mirror image like the first term, except Bulldogs couldn't get one late. They were peppering the forward 50. They were surging forward. They just couldn't quite hit the scoreboard. I thought Lamb stepped up in that quarter for the Dogs, and the Hosking sisters for Carlton have been phenomenal.
They have been everywhere in this game, Blair, and working off that half-back line, almost looking out for each other for that second kick. I thought probably maybe Pressparkas was a bit quieter that term, but they had the other players that took over that midfield role. I think Stevens picking up a bit more of the ball around the ground. And probably that forward coach, Daniel Harford, would be a bit disappointed with the output from the forwards during that term, especially seeing how much of the ball they had in the forward half during the second quarter.
Yeah, Pressparkas might be a little bit quiet, as you say. We're just watching a replay for those watching on the video stream of Pressparkas. Did have it outside the contest, used it really well, gave it to Gurr on the lead, which was Carlton's probably best shot at it. So while she hasn't had a lot of it, you're right, in that quarter, when she did have it, she was classy, she looked really good. But you're right, I think Daniel Harford will be cursing some of the misses there. 1-3 now, so only 2 behinds for the quarter, with a lot of their play inside 50, a lot of sort of shots on goal, a lot of chances. So they'll be hoping to capitalise on it further as we go into the second half.
They certainly will be. That is half-time here at Icon Park. The other games today, one starting very shortly around the grounds, and that is Essendon versus Hawthorn. That game at Windy Hill, part of a double header out at Windy Hill. That game starting at 11:30. And the other game coming up at midday today, Darebin versus Collingwood. Rounding out the day of Swiss Wellness VFL Women's action is NT Thunder taking on Richmond. That game, of course, 4 o'clock Melbourne time, 3:30 up in NT. And tomorrow it is the Southern Saints hosting Melbourne Uni at Wilson Storage, Trevor Barker Beach Oval. We're going to take a break here at Icon Park. During our halftime break, we're going to look back at our SEN show from Tuesday night, where Jack Heverin caught up with Monique Conti from the Richmond Football Club. She hasn't made the trip to Darwin this week, but she's been in some fine form over the opening rounds of the Swiss Wellness VFL Women's season. We'll take a quick break and then we'll be back with a listen to that interview with Monique Conti from the Richmond Football Club right after this here on VFL.com.au.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yeah! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
Your hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have never heard it before,
buy a digital radio.
Head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL, live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Let's take a look now at the Swiss Wellness VFLW. It's all thanks to Victoria Police, who are now recruiting. You can apply now. Jump online and check it out. We thought a great opportunity to talk to one of the best young sportswomen in the country. Football star, basketball star. Her name is Monique Conti. Mon, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for the chat. Appreciate it. Got to say, it took me a little bit to get my head around you seeing in Richmond colours rather than the Bulldogs colours. How did it go first up?
No, it was good. I played the first, few rounds of the VFLW, and it's good to run around in those colours. New club, fresh start, and yeah, it feels good.
Tell us about the win on the weekend, and your own performance, fantastic, but it sort of just feels like things are starting to click together. It's a new group, so it's obviously going to take time, but feels like things are coming together nicely.
Yeah, I think you said it. We're a bit of a new group. We've got girls coming in and out each week, so it's going to take some time for everyone to click. But no, I think we're doing really well on the weekend playing Geelong. They're a really good side, and they've got a lot of really good young players in there as well. But I think, when we stick to what we know and just playing the Richmond style of football, I think we look pretty good on the field, and that's what we did to get the win on the weekend.
And is that what happened after quarter time? Because you were down at quarter time, and the pace, Geelong really looked like they wanted to move the ball quickly, but as soon as you got the game on your terms, that the results started to turn your way.
Yeah, exactly right. We were playing a bit their way, and we just thought we'd switch it over and start playing properly. So once we did that, we kicked a few goals and got up on the scoreboard and put pressure on them that way, which I think worked for us.
How difficult is it, obviously for you coming into a new team, but there are a lot of new players, and Richmond are building something which we'll talk about, but is it hard to come in and learn a new system, I guess doing it with a group of you all learning together?
Yeah, I still feel like the new kid after being there for a few weeks, but it's good to have a few familiar faces in there, and the girls are just great and they're so welcoming, and the club as well, it's the same feel. So I can sort of slot in quite well, and I think we complement each other on the field, a few of us girls. I think that just works really well for us. So it hasn't been as difficult as I thought it would be coming to a new side.
How difficult was it to make that decision? Because you know, Bulldogs gave you the opportunity, and you absolutely repaid them back in the time that you played there. I'd imagine it's not the sort of thing that it would have been decided on lightly.
No, probably one of the most difficult decisions I've ever had to make in my whole lifetime. I've never moved a club ever before in either sport. So it was definitely the hardest thing, but it came down to a lot of little different things as well, which helped my decision. I'm really happy with the choice I've made.
And you should be, because it feels like there's this wonderful vibe coming from Richmond that they've really invested in their VFLW and their AFLW program, and just everything I'm seeing and hearing, it just looks like a really great place to be around.
Yeah, well, it's great to hear that, because that's what they're going for. I mean, they put so much time and effort into their women's program, because it's obviously going to go places, and it's going to the AFLW next. And I think what they've been doing with the VFL for the last couple of years is it's a really good foundation already. And what Tommy Hunter and Kate Sheehan have done is really, really professional as well. So, yeah, I think they're doing well in that area, and I think it's just going to keep growing, and the vibes are just great.
Is the Yellow and Black song a fun one to sing?
It is fun. I'm still learning the words in between, but no,
Oh, yeah.
It's a great song.
Yeah, just hum your way through that, and then just go Yellow and Black at the end. And
just start yelling, yeah.
Monique Conti joining us tonight here on the VFL show. Thanks to Victoria Police. You're more suited than you might think to join Victoria Police. Apply now. Mon, how do you fit it all in? I'm sure you get asked this question a lot, so I'll ask you for about the 7 millionth time. But how do you fit in your commitments with footy, with basketball, and then stuff that you've obviously got outside of sport?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I've never had that one before.
Righto.
Just kidding. I guess I've been doing it for a really long time, doing both basketball and football, and I think now it's just at a professional level. So it's just a lot of communication has to go on between both codes, in order for me to do it. And luckily for me, they're both quite understanding with me wanting to be a dual athlete and to succeed in both levels. So I guess, I just train when I can. I won't overload myself. I monitor my load quite well. And recovery is definitely key for me. I mean, I've been playing footy on a Saturday and then have to back up with a basketball game on a Sunday, but then I'm recovering straight away to help me do it. Because it would hit me 2 days later, but as long as I'm ice bathing, getting rubs and all that sort of stuff, I'm able to do it, and I feel fine. I have never been run down from it all or anything like that. So, yeah, I guess it's just nothing new to me. My body's quite used to it. I think when I don't do so much, I'm in shock. My body goes into shock. So, no. Just been doing it for a really long time, and, just communication's key.
You can get away with all this while you're young, Mon. It'll catch up with you eventually.
Exactly,
you know
right.
that. Do you think?
Yeah, later on.
Do you think there'll be a time, or I guess the answer that you're hoping for is no, but do you think there'll be a time as sport, both the sports you're playing, become more and more professional? Do you think there'll be a time where you may have to choose one or the other?
Yeah, I think there will eventually, but I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to be an Opal one day and play, represent my country at the Olympics eventually. And, that's what where I want to go with my basketball and all that. But I guess at the moment I can still do both AFLW and WNBL and continue on with that. And then when the time comes where I have to choose, that's when I'm going to have to sit down and then put all my options out on the table and then decide from there. But I don't see it happening soon.
No rush.
I think that's a good thing.
No rush. You don't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about it for a long time to come. Mon, thank you for your time tonight. I really appreciate it. Love the way that you play and love that you've been able to take the footy that you've been playing at the Bulldogs to Richmond and finding plenty of footy this year as well. So good luck for the remainder of the year, and thanks for the chat tonight.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Monique Conti joining us tonight on the VFL show. Thanks to Victoria Police. They're now recruiting. You can apply now for more information.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yeah! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL, live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
There you go.
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly, you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations, plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer.
Or check out digitalradioplus.com.au.
And upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes
And you'll
behind
find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Perfect timing to arrive back here at Icon Park. And it is Carlton and the Western Bulldogs well rested. Well, someone better remind the Western Bulldogs just to reappear for the second half, because no sighting of them just yet. Carlton's out there in the middle and rearing to go.
Well, there hasn't been a sighting of Western Bulldogs since late in the first quarter.
No, there hasn't been, James. There's 4 behinds for the match. They've scored those 3 behinds early on during the first quarter, and then has been all Carlton since then. There was a late flurry from the Western Bulldogs, but they weren't able to take advantage of the situation late in the second term to finish off the first half. And, well, it's going to be no warm-ups for
Yeah,
the
they're
Western
straight
Bulldogs.
out.
Straight in position.
No time in the mounting yard. They're straight into the gates.
So, just looking at that midfield again. Cavalis heading into the middle with Kirsty Lamb. McMahon leading the charge again, and of course Ali Blackburn.
Carlton had 5 in their little midfield huddle there, including Nicholas Stevens, who's just gone out to the wing. We've also got Moody, Hosking,
McKay in the middle.
And Prespakis as well, who's going to start that sort of centre position, the old school centre, if you like, behind the ball.
Pretty impressive midfield there, James. Hosking, Prespakis, young up-and-comer in Abby McKay as well, and Brianne Moody leading the way.
Yeah, and they've all played their role today. They've all had their fair share of the ball and been doing some good things with it.
We'll keep you updated with scores around the grounds. Essendon versus Hawthorn just starting in round 6 Swiss Wellness VFL Women's action. Anthony Stangas, Blair Morton and James Strebanos with you today. Blair, get us underway for this second half.
Lamb, who won it out for the Dogs, she went to half forward. Danuccio on the end of a couple of little handballs there, and the victim of a pretty strong tackle too, as we get a ball up. Bulldogs half forward position, one down, looking for Lamb again. Hosking was in and under it though. She gave it out. Danuccio has it. The other Hosking. So Hosking's teaming up in Sarah and Jess, one winning the ball, one laying the resulting tackle.
I must say thank you to the Hosking twins today. Sarah wearing the long sleeves and Jess the short sleeves today.
And alternating boots as well. They can do that every week, it'd be lovely. Here we go, out again to Hosking. Handball went to Moody. She kicks it up the ground. Another little torpedo looking for Wright. It's going to bounce for Wright, nearly. She keeps it in front of her. Got a pretty heavy bump on the ball. Bulldogs mop up. They kick back out. Guess who? Sarah Hosking. But a free kick paid. Going to the Dogs. It's a downfield free kick, I think, for what?
It was.
For a heavy bump off the ball after she'd got rid of it. And it's going the way of McMahon. Gave it off to a runner. She's gone looking. Good lead. Nearly a mark taken by Sandrell. Won it off the ground. Handball up. And another. Went to Mullins. She's tackled well. Bramage again. God, Bromwich has been good and fierce laying those tackles. Again, holds Mullins right up and ends up giving Carlton probably win that little contest. They get it in. Mackay had it out of the ruck. Streaming through, though, for the Bulldogs was Gavalis. Wheels around, puts it out in front of Scott. Kick was too heavy. Now Woods has got it behind Scott. Just gets it, has to corral around Scott, and she does. Gets right around to the handballs to no one, though. Just put it into space. The Bulldogs are there. She gets it back. Handball out to Stevens on the wing. Stevens has got Hosking. Here we go. Hosking wheels around on the right to half forward. Mark not taken. Now the ball spills free, and it's a foot race. There first to the Bulldogs in McLeod, who lost her feet. She's set upon by Mason. Now coming into the cavalry, but McLeod manages to get back up, mop it up with a little bit of time and class, and gives it to Goggis.
On this broadcast side wing, centres it, looking for Lamb and finds her. Lamb plays on, short chip kick, finds Blackburn in the front spot. Plays on quickly, great work by Ali Blackburn, first VFL game of the season. Goes inside forward, 50, door opens, Betts in the pocket. She's tackled to the ground. Oh, great tackle by the Blues. And ball held up. Still 25 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. Going nowhere at the moment. Handball comes out. Kick, that was for Sandrell. And it is Moody. Bounds her way through the middle. But the kick intercepted. Chris Gergel. Up towards half forward, McMahon couldn't take it. Plain now, short chip kick, looking for Clifford. Haven't seen much of her today. She goes long inside forward, 51-on-1 contest, and the Bulldogs win out. And Rudin takes the ball at half back.
Rudin's got it. Oh, gives a kick, put it right on the pump. Came across was Jarvis. Doesn't get clean possession. Now she does. She just handballs it up to herself. It's Hunt he's in the contest with. The ball's going to spill free. Jeez, and that was willing stuff from Hunt and Jarvis. Jarvis really well to get to the contest, get a fist in, and then Hunt just would not be beaten on the ground. Ended up at the boundary line. Board in Mercy. We're back underway. Moody brings it down on the deck. Couple overrun it. Handball now comes out to Lamb. Lamb wheels around, gives it to Mackay. Over it's Hosking. Sarah pushed in the back, maybe out of bounds. Throw in. So Jess Hosking doing pretty well there.
I don't know about you guys, but there's a old school feel about this contest. They've seen a lot of spirals. We're an old school venue, long sleeves, one-on-one contest. It's been a great contest.
Absolutely right. If you're a fan of that old VFL suburban traditional football, we've said it before, come and have a look at the women's. Here we are as Woods is away. She goes up to half forward position. Brought it down. Bromwich is underneath it. put her head over it, did well. Unfortunate she didn't have the ball. Now kicking it out to Davies, puts it out into space in the wing, and Scott's there. Scott wins it, corralled by her opponent though, and get handball. She's got it back, really well defended by Wright, just to hold Scott up. Scott put it out in front of Blackburn, who's got it on the bounce. She tucks under the arm and runs to 50. She's got space, kicks over the leading full forward. It's bouncing the goal square. The bounce didn't favour her. It just sat up. Had it been a tumbling forward bounce, it had likely been a goal. But now Carlton Cavalry come back in. They might be able to mop up here. Hoskins over it, doesn't want to give it up. Eventually gave it out to Kassar. Kassar puts it out on the wing in front of Kubash, who's back on after a heavy knock earlier. Kubash's kick just stays in. Carlton's still out here. Oh. It's Clifford. Don't argue. Up the line, a centre half forward. Big, strong marking contest. Brought down and a huge bump late here as Jarvis over the ball. Now a handball's out. Bromwich comes in, gets through the stoppage. Gave it to Plain. She just bombs it forward. Jarvis is here. Out the back if she can get it. The ball's going to win the race. Jarvis going to get there first. Just nearly keeps it in. Is it a goal? No, she's been robbed on the line. And how about that? A behind after all.
The footy gods were not on her side at all. She had an open paddock, open goal, but the ball did not want to go her way.
What a save by Jessie Davies on the last line. He's almost taken it off Marnie Jarvis's boot.
It was like a golden snitch, the ball, wasn't it? Just kept racing away from it.
So unfortunate then for Marnie Jarvis. Couldn't get her hands on it, but what a save by Davies. So the ball comes out towards half-back. Stevens couldn't take the mark for the Blues. Now they get it out. Wide, Kubash. Oh, as Blair mentioned, back on the park. Pressbarkis now centering kick. This is where she does her best work. Can't find her target on that occasion. Well cut off by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs come out to half-back again. Blues, no talk. Wilson gets the punch away. Ball at ground level. Now again, the Blues on this broadcast side wing. Kick from Neal. Co-captain. Ball heads over the boundary line and we'll see a boundary throw in. So Megan Neal, been seeing a fair bit of the ball during the third term. Been working well in defence for the Blues. Boundary throw in. Forward half for the Blues. Over the football, Gogos. Kubash working hard for it again. Diving in on top. And we'll have another ball up. So on the Choose Tap scoreboard, 1-4-10. Carlton, Western Bulldogs, just the 4 behinds. We'll keep you updated on the scores around the grounds. And wow, Hawthorn off to a perfect start, 3-3-21. Essendon yet to score. 2 goals to Olivia Flanagan and Dylan with the other major. As Mackay brings along this broadcast side wing. Good handball from Scott. Teammate on that occasion, Gogos, under plenty of pressure. Well done by Nicola Stevens, and we'll have a ball up on this broadcast side wing.
It's been good today, Scott. A bit of run through the midfield. Playing it out on the wing in that half-forward position as well. Been good. It's Carlton are away. Pressbarkis here. He's got a lot of time. Had it on a string. Gave the handball out, looking for Wilson. Now she's under the pump because she didn't get to the handball on the full. It's on the bounce. Wrapped up in a tackle. Ball spills free. Wright's behind it. She just gets it up. Went looking for Jarvis. But the Bulldogs just apply enough pressure to win the ball and put it inside 50. They went looking. One of the Hoskins is there, as you'd believe, and she's away. She tucks it under the arm, goes out to the wing and gets a spare play up. Just couldn't take the mark. Now it's out to McKay. And McKay's going to get tackled. She just gets a kick away. Got it out in front of Kubash, who brings it to ground. Kubash results back the handball. Swings around, right foot snap to the top of the square. Again, just puts it in the right spot. But the Dogs have it. That was through Rudin, who she gave a don't argue. She's taken the contest on. The umpire had a really good think. Ended up paying a ball up. So Rudin pretty lucky not to give away the free kick there in the last lines of defence. We go up again. Kubash did well to bring it down for Carlton. There for the Bulldogs is Betts. Quick kick away nearly. just stopped up. The Dogs are under a lot of pressure here. The handball up and a free kick paid for holding the player to the Bulldogs in a tackle. The kick's too early, so we'll bring it back. But again, the Bulldogs get a reprieve in defence because Carlton was surging. They were just one tackle away, you felt like, from regaining possession and being dangerous. There's a free kick, finally finding its way back to the correct player in Davies. Or in, might be Gurr.
Gunn.
Ashley Gunn fires it away. Up the flank, and that kick nearly taken on the outer side wing here by the Bulldogs, who just managed to keep it going forwards, but now Carlton cut it off. What's happening? Hoskins got it behind the contest, ducks and weaves her way through. How about that? Puts it up long, looking for Bromwich on the half-forward flank. Got it on the bounce, wheels around, snaps inside. Only gets as far as the Bulldogs in Davies. And they can reset.
Davies thought about going across goal. Now she goes backwards to go forwards. Kicks it in short. They've got the players along the outer side wing. They go over the top. Mullins now dispossessed. Umpires found a free kick and will go back the way of the Western Bulldogs. She's down on the outer side too. Oh, just I think the umpires got out the book as well. So go against Hosking, that of the Jess variety.
So the trainer was called out very quickly, streamed out.
Just looking on the replay, slung to the ground just with that. She basically had hold of her jumper. And just the movement forward. And she's hit the ground fairly heavily. So umpires put Hosking in the book. But the trainer out there on the outer side. Both the teams in a huddle out there. So Courtney Mullins, player down on the outer side for the Bulldogs. Trainer's just spending the time with her on the outer side. Bit of a break in play here as Jess Hosking heading to the bench for an interchange.
So we call for the stretcher. So we'll have a little break in play here.
Looking around the grounds, Essendon on the board. Wilson has kicked their first goal. So they are 1 goal straight. 6, Hawthorn 3-3-21. So both teams are huddling in the middle of the ground. Choose tap scoreboard, 1-4-10 Carlton. Western Bulldogs 4 behinds, 4 points. So I think we've probably seen it enough on the replay. Both teams.
It's definitely not, I don't think, anything really malicious in it. She just got a little handful of her jumper in the tackle, and as she spun herself around, her sort of centrifugal force, if that's the right word, sort of carried her around and just accidentally dumped Mullins into the ground. But Courtney Mullins, hopefully she's okay as we're getting the stretcher and the doctors, so she's in the proper care.
Yeah, Hosking just grabbing onto that jumper and that forward motion rather than actually being able to grab her. She just got hold of the corner of the jumper. So
unable to stop herself as she was already spinning.
Well, she'd almost gone past Mullins. That was the problem in the end. That she'd gone past Mullins, was able to grab her jumper and kind of almost took her with her motion, with Hosking's motion going forward. Looking at the rest of the round this weekend, very shortly will be underway between Darebin and Collingwood at Preston City Oval, between those two teams. And the other game today, NT Thunder taking on Richmond. That game 4 o'clock, and of course you can watch that game via live stream from 4 o'clock on the website. The time for a stretcher incident as well, so they will stop the clock and wait for the time on. So it's only for stretcher incidents that they will have time on during the quarters. Otherwise, it's the set 20-minute terms here in VFLW. So we will take a break. We might take a quick ad break while we're here at Icon Park. It is 1-4-10. Carlton, Western Bulldogs 4 behinds on the Choose Tap scoreboard. Anthony Stangett's, Blair Morton and James Strebanos with you here today while we sort things out on the field. And we, if you've just tuned in, stretcher on the field for Courtney Mullins, who hit the ground heavily after a Jess Hosking tackle. We'll take a quick break, and after the break we'll be back with the resumption of play here in the third term here at Icon Park. Swiss Wellness VFL Women's Round 6 action here live on VFL.com.au here at Icon Park.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yeah! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality? Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back here to Icon Park. Just a break in play if you've just tuned in. A tackle on Courtney Mullins by Jess Hosking. Mullins hitting the ground hard from that tackle. I believe Jess Hosking has also gone into the book. So our time clock will be a bit out during this term, just for the fact that the timekeepers were unsure where they actually stopped the clock. So our siren, once it does, it may not sound at the 20-minute mark of this term, but we will get our time clock back up and running here on the video stream as well. But as we said, no time on normally with the quarters in VFLW games, but they do have time on for any stretcher incidents or the cases like that. So we'll get a bit of an indication of the time left in the term. We've currently got the 15-minute mark of the term, but we'll check that out as Woods goes over the top to Moody. Moody inside a vacant forward 50 arc. Jarvis trying to chase down the football. Handball comes out. Bulldogs at half back, working their way backwards to go forwards. Dispossess was Gunn. Chris Parker's trying to push her way through. Ball over the line, and we will have a boundary throw-in.
So we're nearly back underway here. Ball retrieved underneath the Richard Pratt stand, out of side here at Icon Park. Ball brought back in. Back underway as the Rucks go at it. Winning it out of the ruck here was McMahon. She gave it away. Only as far as it's ended up back with Moody. Moody gives it over to McMahon. They're playing handball to handball. McMahon not able to give it away. Carlton player snaps one around the corner up to the top of the square. Nearly a mark taken. Not quite. Ball now in dispute on the ground. Bromwich asking for holding the ball free. Not paid. So it's a ball up right at the top of Carlton's attacking goal square. Prime spot for a snap-on goal here. Is brought down to Hosking, nearly had it. She's going to get it now out in the pocket. Gave the handball out to Prasparkas, who wheels around with a little bit of time. The snap was no good. Gave it to McMahon. Might have been touch. He called to play on. Now the Hosking sisters converge. They're going at it against Danuccio, who did pretty well. Very happy to see it out of bounds. And the Western Bulldogs get it out. They're now 60 metres from their defensive goal. Just take a little bit of the heat off as Carlton were really surging. So getting in close. Ball going to be back in. So Rucks go at it. Moody and McMahon. McMahon had the better of it this time. Won it out the back. Brought down in a tackle there though now. It's a Bulldogs player. And another ball up. Outer side wing. Underway very quickly. Moody this time did the better of the ruck. Brought down in front of Scott, was it? Up with it now, Stevens. Stevens goes forward looking for Bromwich, who came off half forward. Bromwich overran it. Now Stevens again with it, is it? No, Stevens out the side. It's Bromwich who's come up with the ball. So no clean possession here. It's just with that break in play, it's taken the sting out of the game as everyone had a chance to get their breath back and recover. It's all much more kept in. Not as free-flowing as it was a little bit earlier with some tired legs. Going to get underway again here. Carlton centre half forward position. Moody won it down, but Blackburn was there roving for the Bulldogs. Her kick's affected. Moody just bombs it long inside looking for Clifford. Kick wasn't good enough. Here go the Bulldogs though with a little bit of time. Goggis has the ball. Weaves, kicks one up down the wing. Good though was Woods behind on the wing here for Carlton. She gives a handball away, wants it back, doesn't get it. Wilson it is, just goes forward. Pass. Really good kick to Bromwich, who stood up in a mark and takes it at half forward flank position. Too far out, 60 out, just tries to put on the head of leading Clifford, who bumps her way through, puts it into a good spot. 40 metres out, directly in front. Mark taken to Carlton, and it looks like Kassar, who's going to go back with it. Maybe just on the edge of her distance capacity. Gives it to Hosking, bombs one. She maybe tried to kick a top because it's a mongrel punt, but a mark taken.
Wow. Cubash has just wandered her way down, sprinted her way down to the forward pocket. Probably wasn't expecting it in the forward pocket, but great sprinting, especially after that incident in the first half, and made her way down there and picked up the miss kick.
And how about that contest before? Clifford had no right to win that ball, got in front of it, punched it, regathered.
Here's Cubash for her first. Carlton second, she's pulled the kick. That's disappointing. After all the hard work there by Cubash, she's sprayed one across. Carlton 1-5-11, peppering that scoreboard and scoring area, unable to convert. Western Bulldogs 0-4-4, approaching three-quarter time.
Bulldogs bring it back out to this broadcast side. Mark taken. And here's another opportunity. Cubash again. Too far out to score. She'll change probably her style from the last kick towards goal. Top of the square. Who can mark? Plenty of hands go up. What can the Blues do? Bromwich, kick round the corner. Blackburn, last line of defence. Sidesteps an opponent, brings the ball out, and the mark taken by Lamb. Bounces her way along the broadcast side wing here at Icon Park. Kicks up further forward. Xanthos plays on. Could have been down the field. Free kick wasn't. Sandrell takes the mark. It was a very vacant forward 50 for the Western Bulldogs. Wobbly kick. And good mark taken by Jess Hosking back out on the park. Hosking now brings it along this broadcast side wing long. Looking for Cubash. She'll get the free kick. Prasparkas plays on. Goes up towards centre half forward. One-on-one contest. Mireille Clifford again. Didn't grab onto it, and we will have a ball up on this broadcast side wing. Forward half for the Blues, who have just picked up the tempo over the last few minutes.
Back up, Cubash doing the ruck work, did it pretty well too. Stevens nearly had it, overran it. Coming out with it was Danuccio, who got set upon. Kick affected, didn't go far. Stevens now has it, gives it away. Kick forwards via Kassar. Kassar just goes to half forward. Bulldogs win it out, but again besieged by the Carlton attack. And it's a ball up. True centre half forward position. It's a ball up. Up we go. Kubash again, nearly won it down. Bulldogs do the roving well through Gavalis, who just bombs it long with a kick and hope. But Chisholm came out to meet it at half back. They win it out for the Blues. Now a wide kick out onto the wing. Unfortunately beaten by the siren. And that'll be it for 3 quarters as we go over Oranges into the last. It's Carlton who've had the better of the traffic in this quarter, 1-5-11. Really, yet to really trouble the scorers again with only 2 behinds kicked in that quarter, both going to the Blues. So they're 1-5-11. Western Bulldogs, 0 goals, 4 behinds, 4 as we go into the last break.
Well, I don't think Bulldogs got it inside their 50 after that stretcher incident. Carlton were peppering the inside 50s, I should say, but it was just those chaos balls. Every time they went in, they did the chaos balls instead of lowering the eyes and trying to find the target. And the couple times they did find that target, they were unable to convert. But Carlton well and truly on top heading into the last quarter.
Looking at around the ground scores, and it is at the game just about to get... Let me check at the time clock. Just underway now between Darebin and Collingwood. I had a Preston City Oval today, so just down the road here from Icon Park. But the other game that started at 11:30, that of course Hawthorn versus Essendon. And Hawthorn 4-3-27 lead Essendon 1 goal straight 6. Flanagan has 2 goals in that clash, and as I mentioned, Darebin versus Collingwood getting underway, and Collingwood on the board with the first behind of that term. We're going to take a break here from Icon Park. It is 3-quarter time. Can the Blues bring up their first win of Swiss Wellness VFL Women's Season 2019, or will it be the Bulldogs continuing their unbeaten run so far this season? Stay tuned. We'll be back with a big final term from Icon Park here on VFL.com.au right after this break.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men. Some are ladies. Yeah! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
Your hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coach's huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have never heard it before,
buy a digital radio.
Head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back to Icon Park. And ready for a big final term of Swiss Wellness VFL Women's action. It is Soccer to MMD round as well. A number of clubs across the VFL and VFL Women's wearing the blue Fight MMD socks. And James Strebanos, you're going to have to make a call. You predicted Carlton at the start of this game would cause the upset. They're looking in the box seat at the moment, but this game is far from over. Provide your thoughts for this leading into this final term.
Yeah, I will stick with my tip. I think Carlton have been well and truly on top since late in that first quarter. But who knows, if Carlton could do that late in the first quarter, then Bulldogs might have their turn.
And that's right, even though they've had all the run of play, it's a kick in it. I mean, it's 7 points, so you're exactly right, James. A couple go lucky to the Bulldogs and it's game on.
Well, we've got 20 minutes left in this game. A bit later than normal with a stretcher during the third term for Courtney Mullins. So we hope she's okay heading into the rooms. That was after a Jess Hosking tackle. I believe a report was laid against Hosking as well. Sister Sarah is in the long sleeves in the middle, up against Kirsty Lamb to start the final term. Here we go. Big final term of action. 7 points the margin. The Blues in front. Blair Morton get us underway in this final term.
Moody wins it back. Went the tap backwards to Presparkas in the traditional centre position behind the stoppage. She ended up winning it. Got a high tackle. And gets a free kick out of the middle. Presparkas just goes long up to half forward. There underneath it, well done, was Bromwich. Gave it away, short little chip kick. Nearly finds a target, not quite brought to ground. Clifford threw her body over the top. Free kick, is it? Or it's just a ball up. Umpire quick on the whistle there. And it's a ball up inside Carlton, attacking 50. Flying through Hosking. Nearly had the ball, but how good's that from Blackburn? With a little bit of time and space gathered, wove her way through traffic. Snaps a kick out to the half-back flank. The Bulldogs have it all in front of them. Little chip kick up again. They're playing this tempo style of footy, just trying to get it on their terms and get an inside 50 as they'd prefer it. This kick over to Betts. She's out a wing. Smaller kick inside. Got it to Blackburn on the bounce, so she's set upon by Hosking. Did well to corral Blackburn, and Blackburn did get a kick away, but it wasn't great. Only got as far as Kassar. Now the ball's in dispute. Came up to Plain. She got it away. Carlton now through Bramage. Get it forward into space inside 50. Bulldogs get there first via Gunn. She rebounds back, so it's a bit of kick to kick here. Gunn went out towards the boundary line. Just didn't get there. Carlton mop it up. Handball goes searching for Mason. She gives a kick away to Woods, who slashes it forward to Hosking. Hosking now gives a handball away. That ensuing kick goes long inside 50. Nearly marks right. Brought it down. Then she got it off the deck. Gave it away. Now a kick coming back in and a strong mark taken to Carlton. Going back with the fly, it's Bromwich. And Bromwich gets one directly in front. She'll kick from 40 out. So it's probably right on her distance here, Bromwich. Now we look on the replay here. She had to stand up. She heard McLeod coming behind her, but being brave all day, Bromwich. She's going to go back for a goal. It's a nice kick. Just have a distance, will it to goal.
Wow.
Bromwich gets her first of the day. Carlton second, and makes a 7-goal ball game of 13 and puts a little bit of breathing space for the Blues in the last quarter.
Dare I say it, that's just about the game with how it's been played today. That goal puts them 13 points up and in the box seat.
I tell you, you'll see no one more excited than Sydney Kubash. She ran after she saw the ball go over the back of the pack. She was almost just holding her opponents and holding the damn wall. And you can see her in the replay just holding her opponent out of the way and pumping the fist as that second goal of the game goes through, going the way of Courtney Bromwich. So good start to the final term for the Blues. Extends their margin now to 13 points and the ball goes their way again. But good work by McLeod. Short chip kick finds Lamb. Play on the call from the umpire. Kicks down towards half forward. Over the top of Wright. That's Gemma Wright. Ball long towards the goal square. Neil, co-captain, leading back in the race for the footy. Great work by Neil. She's been good today. Now coming out. Chisholm. Goes in towards Wood territory. Mason over the footy. Got a handball back to Emerson Wood. Been fantastic today. Kicks wide. Can she find her opponent who just sees it over the line? That's Mia Ray Clifford. And we'll have a boundary throw in on that outer side. So only 4 minutes gone, final term. Good work in the defensive half today by the Blues, especially after that barrage of action that they got in that first term, James.
Yes, early in the game, Bulldogs were all over them. Look for Lamb and Blackburn to step up if Bulldogs are any chance.
Mark taken here by Carlton, defensive side of their outer side wing. Kick went into the centre. Dangerous centering ball. Bodies converge. The Bulldogs end up winning it. Little handball didn't gain any territory. Ferocious tackling going on here. They're rolling around on the ground. Eventually, the ball up. Awarded inside the centre square. True centre of the ground. McLeod attacked it for the Bulldogs but didn't come out with it. Hosking did. Gave it away now. Wilson's got it. She tries to get a kick forward. She does, but it's not a great kick. Clifford came out to meet it, got it on the bounce, gave it to Woods. Woods goes inside 50, out in front of Cubash. Cubash, pretty happy to see go out of bounds, but the ball didn't quite want to. Ended up going out of bounds anyway. Carlton win a ball inside their attacking 50, underneath the Legends stand. Deep in the pocket.
Last 4 goals in a row have gone the way of Hawthorn, commanding leaders over Essendon, 7-4-46 to Essendon. 1 goal straight, 6. And Collingwood off to a good start up against Darebin. They've kicked the first 3 goals of that game. 1 to Malloy, 1 to Lambert, and 2 to Lambert and 1 to Malloy. So strong start by Collingwood over Darebin, and Hawthorn well in control over Essendon. Our game still in the balance.
Not much doing here as we get restarted again. Bulldogs slash one clear, right out into space. Got to it first, just giving it away there was Crundle, and a free kick gone the way of the Bulldogs, who get another reprieve because nearly out with it was Mason. 50. And that, you're exactly right, James. That will be a 50-metre penalty. The ball not thrown back on the full to Dundon.
I want to be giving away these free kicks.
Play with the ball, there's Bibby.
Bibby goes long, inside forward, 50, one-on-one contest. Emerson Woods again. Oh, the free kick's gone against her. Being brought back.
Oh,
it's gone to the goal square. Will they call it?
Be a goal.
No.
They have to call the goal.
No, bringing it back.
The Bulldogs player looked to take the advantage, but possibly not behind the mark. Maybe as it needed to be, but...
Bit of confusion. The goal umpire's ready to go.
It's a certain goal if it's an advantage paid. There's no doubt about it, because even the defence was still playing. No one had stopped or anything like that. As we have a look on the replay, Mark taken as wow.
So Crundle will be now too far out to score. She's going to go long inside forward. 50 now. Long to the goal square. Moody at the back of the pack. And will it be? Yes, it will be. The mark paid.
I saw the foot smother.
I saw the umpire rushing in. Bromwich couldn't take the mark and the ball goes over the line. So we've gone 7 minutes final term. And the Bulldogs, you would think in the next couple of minutes, if they can get another goal on the board, we've still got game on in this final term.
That might have been an important one that was adjudicated against them there for the Dogs.
McMahon couldn't get the tap down. Moody, good positioning for the boundary throw-in. Hosking again. Well, you'd expect to see her nowhere else but the bottom of the pack. And we'll have a ball up forward 50. Been a great battle, McMahon versus Moody. And both featured in the Team of the Week over the opening rounds of the season inside the forward 50 arc. Once again, Sandrell leading out to meet it. Ball at forward 50, the Bulldogs. They go backwards, kick inside. Gogos inside forward 50. Carlton have the numbers. Good work by Chisholm. Back to Hosking. Really enjoyed her game off the half-back line today. And going through the middle, that's Sarah Hosking. Good intercept of Mackay as well. She's diving it over the football. She is determined for the footy. Gogos tries to centre the kick. The Blues with the numbers again.
It's a funny kick.
It was. It goes out of bounds and it'll be a free kick going the way of the Bulldogs.
Might have been a bit disorientated then, was she? Anyway, go on, James.
Dogs slowly gaining a bit of momentum now. Been on top of it in the last 5 minutes.
Absolutely are. And this one's going to Xanthos. For the last touch rule, Xanthos the beneficiary. Just lobs it up the line. And big strong mark taken from behind. That was by the big ruckman in Moody. She played on, ends up coughing it up. Roving here is Christian Gergel. Just again pops it up to half-forward flank position. Bulldogs converge. They slash one away via Jolly. Just put it into space though. Now with the balls, Chisholm. Chisholm tucks under the arm, plays on, kicks up into the danger area inside, but cut off by Davies, who's been good today. Davies again, they're just peppering inside 50, hoping something comes off. The kick went looking for Jolly. Back with the fly to Carlton defender. Pulled it on the last line again, it's Prapaskas. Gave it out, gets it back Prasparkas. This time up the line, gets Plain. Plain has a look at all of it in front of her. Deep up against her half-back flank. Just puts it high and long. Fell in the lap of Kubash. Couldn't believe her luck. Played on. Smothered off the boot. Well done by Hunt. Came back to Kubash. Set upon. Ball up.
She's unhappy with herself there, Kubash. Didn't need a play on.
And it was Hosking, of course, on the bottom of the pack who had it. Kubash rucks it down. Here goes Hosking. Throws herself at it. Doing really well, though, was Bet to just keep it in for the Bulldogs. Gives it away. Gogos tried to palm one down. Woods has it in front of her for Carlton. None of them can gain clean possession. The Bulldogs slash one at half-forward, down inside 50. It's out in front of the player here in Sandrell. Sandrell keeps her feet in the contest, but down on the ground, the Carlton players dragged it in. Surely. It's got to be holding the ball. It will be. And the Dogs get a real reprieve here. Sandrell's going to have a shot from point-blank range to keep the Dogs alive. The Carlton player who came up with it, we'll just have a look at who it is. Go on, James.
Once you drag it in, the umpire knows that you've had prior.
And it is Megan Neal. She knew exactly what she was doing, just trying to stop Sandrell up, because it was a certain goal otherwise. Maybe professional free kick. But Sandrell doesn't miss that. Straight through the middle, and the Dogs have got a pulse. As Sandrell hits one, Western Bulldogs 1-4-10, trail Carlton 2-5-17. We've travelled 11 minutes in the last quarter here at Icon Park. Round 6 Swiss Wellness clash for Socket to M&D round at Icon Park.
We've got a game on our hands. Since Carlton's last goal, they have stopped. It's been all the Bulldogs since, and an important goal.
As our video stream audience can see, as Neil lost her feet, she just dragged the ball back in, and as soon as she did that, she just needed some support to try and get the ball out. She didn't have it, and great work by Mary Sandrell.
In the end, probably did the right thing, forced the forward to go back and have a set shot, because otherwise she was going to get it at point blank, a centimetre out at a certain goal, so all she could do.
Correct. Kicks her third goal of the season in her fifth game for the year. Bromwich at half forward. McKay, handball over Stevens, inside forward 50. Great work by the Blues. Mia Ray Clifford.
Yep.
She can just about put the game to bed if she nails this. A bit too far out, maybe.
I still don't know. I think they've got to be 3 goals in front, because the Bulldogs, just the way that they showed getting that last goal. Clifford, an important kick. Kicks long and offline to the left-hand side. So an 8-point margin 2-6-18 plays a 1-4-10 choose tap scoreboard. 2 kicks still needed by the Bulldogs as they bring the ball back into play.
They bring it back. This kick's got to be good. It was pretty good looking for Lamb. She did all she could because the kick put her under pressure in a 2-on-1. Brought to ground. Now, Lamb doing so well just to keep the Bulldogs in the contest because they were really besieged. Carlton desperate. She did well enough, Lamb, to keep the Dogs at bay.
She's had a good game, Lamb. Probably the best for the Dogs.
Been very good. Kubash punches it forward. Just trying to gain territory here as we're approaching the dying stages of the last. Still time enough for any team to win it. Getting into next goal wins kind of territory as Carlton lead by 8 points.
Around the ground,
half gone.
Around the grounds, half time. Hawthorn 7-4-46 lead. Essendon 1 goal straight 6. Olivia Flanagan with 3 goals to half time. And at the other game that's on at the moment, it is Collingwood 4-3-27 at quarter time. Malloy and Lambert with 2 goals apiece.
As Plain gets it from half forward, bombs it up, nearly taking the mark. There was Wright, gets it, snap, misses. That might have done it for the Blues. Wright just pulled it across. 2-7-19 plays 1-4-10 as the Dogs play on fullback.
They're going fast, the Dogs.
Yeah, 6 minutes left in this game. They come out of half-back. Good strong mark taken by Bibby. They move the ball along this broadcast side wing, high, up and under kick. Oh, strong marking by the Bulldogs. Moving from their back line. Crundle now with the ball. Looking for a further option down the field. Kubash, good body work to push her opponent under the ball. Hosking. Now Jarvis, tackled to the ground. No free kick paid. Kubash takes her opponent too high, and the free kick will go the way of Danuccio. So, intense final stages of this round 6 clash. Good body work by Hosking. Opened the door up for Gemma Wright. And 50-metre penalty. That going against Crundle.
Just overran the mark.
That was the last thing the Bulldogs needed.
They were so close to their forward half. Then Gemma Wright, will she look for a sister? No, she doesn't. She finds Nat Plain up in the forward line.
She's got options out the back.
She'll be happy just to run down the clock. Watch for Kubash down in the goal square again. And what she did for the first goal of the final term, just keeping her opponents forward. Plain. Long to the goal square. Kubash. But McMahon puts the big arms up and takes the defensive mark to give the Bulldogs another opportunity.
McMahon gives it, yeah, as you said, James, really under the pump here. Now the Dogs have got the work cut out. They end up just kicking it away and they put it down the throat of Jess Hosking. So Jess Hosking now has it for Carlton on the outer side flank. She's too far out, you'd think, to score. She'll have to kick from outside 50. Long way out. Got a few leads on. She's got Kubash at home in the goal square. Just threads a nice little one up the line to Clifford. Gains some territory, but in a real hard spot to score from. Right in deep in the pocket, 25 metres out, up against the boundary line. Just puts it up to the top of the square. As you said, there's a few there. Moody nearly takes it, brings it down. Snap! Presparkers has hit the post from point blank. And Carlton get yet another minus score, 2-8-20. The Dogs 1-4-10, approaching the 17-minute mark here in the last.
Oh, the Bulldogs need to play on quickly. They've been given a lifeline by the Blues in accuracy. But again, the Blues will go forward through Cassar. Inside forward 50 again. Good work by Plain. Her defensive pressure over the last few minutes of the game has been a highlight. But here comes the Bulldogs. Again, cut off Moody. Kicks inside forward 50. She got plenty of options. They get it on now. Presparkis sizes it up, centres the ball as she has done all day. Her vision inside forward 50 has been impeccable.
She got pushed off the kick and still managed to hit the teammate on the chest.
So the rising star from AFLW season 2019 gets it on to Nat Plain, who lines up. Can she put the icing on the cake for Carlton? She can. Kicks the third goal of the game for Carlton. And they move on to 3-8-26. Western Bulldogs at 1-4-10. And that plane kicking the co-captain today, kicking her fourth goal of the season, has played every game for the Blues this year. And will finally, you would think, see her first win of the season with the Blues.
Yeah, what an upset. I was not expecting this, even though I did tip the upset, so I probably was expecting
Come
this.
on, rephrase it. You did expect the upset, James.
Yeah, well, they put the game to bed. You would think it'd have to be a miracle from here.
Yeah, they don't look like kicking 3 goals from the position they're in here with realistically a minute and 40 seconds left. Whistle gone here from the centre. It's paid by the boundary umpire on the outer side of the corner. Rather, it's the unofficiating umpires paid it from the corner, and the Bulldogs go out to Scott. Scott on the flank, gave the handball out. It wasn't great. Put her teammate under the pump, wants it back. Ends up coming back out to Gavalis. Ends up going around Scott. Just throws it on the boot up to centre half forward position. Nearly brought down by McMahon. Kick now just goes inside 50. Winning it out was Sandrell. Whistle gone. She got one high. Free kick. So Sandrell wants it back desperately. Just puts it up a little bit further. The kick was probably a little bit rushed. You understand why. Spills out the back. Carlton desperately trying to keep in possession of it. Ooh, umpire was circling, maybe looking for a free kick. Nothing paid. And approaching the last 40 seconds here, so we're deep into junk time. Carlton are going to have an upset and beat the Western Bulldogs at home as the ball's up. Kicked out, doesn't gain any territory. There's a few Bulldogs around it. Handball nearly went out the back to the stoppage, back out the behind. Came back to her now, just gets a kick off. Wasn't great, that was Bibby. Goes inside, Scott gets it off the deck. Looks for one forwards, doesn't get it away. There's a big scrum of bodies, tired players now. Ball goes nowhere after all that. Umpire brings it in, and we're running out the clock here now. We're deep inside the Western Bulldogs attacking territory, but time is not on their side. Winning it out was Carlton anyway, and there's a siren. As we said, Carlton with a big upset. They win at home here at Princess Park, 3-8-26. Over the Bulldogs at 1-4-10. Carlton take the chocolates at home. Goal scorers, Bromwich, Hosking and Plain for the Carlton Blues, and the Western Bulldogs, just sole goal scorer late in the last quarter there was Sandrell, and it's Carlton who win at home at Icon Park.
James, thoughts on that final term with the Blues challenge, but flexing their muscle at the end for their first win of the season?
Yeah, the Bulldogs finally decided to show up after the first quarter. They were all over them early, peppering the forward 50s. Non-decision from the umpire kind of cost the Dogs a goal. They got one back though through Sandrell, but it was the Blues who were good late, and they really put the foot down and they had a few chances to seal that game at the end, the Blues, but they ended up doing so late in the contest.
Yeah, 2 goals, 3 during the final term to just the 1 goal straight, but that missed play on call, probably a turning point in the game for the Blues, just giving them a bit of a helping hand.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want to blame the umpire or anything like that, but had that have been one of those little each-way decisions that goes your way on the day, that might have been a different outcome, but not to be for the Dogs today. And as we said, Carlton, it wasn't like they got lucky. They were strong all day. They really won the battle, and they were the better side today.
I wonder whether the forwards coach today, the stand-in forwards coach Daniel Harford, will take credit for the win. 3 goals in today's game.
He loves his work, Harford. Loves it.
Yeah, he certainly does, and a great result for Carlton. They challenged NT Thunder last week, and then this week coming up with their first win of the season. And just looking at their score lines, last week 7 goals for 46, their biggest scoreline of the year, where they'd struggled to kick any more than 2 goals in the opening rounds of the season. And looking at that scoreline of 3-8, well, that really should have been a 6-goal, or not margin, but 6 goals on the board for them in today's game. Just some inaccuracy that they did have.
They could definitely have capitalised. Most of their scoring came in the first and last quarter respectively. They kicked 1-1 in the first, and ended up kicking 2-3 in the last. So really, for the middle 2 quarters, Carlton only kicked 4 behinds for a half of footy, or a middle half, albeit. But for 2 quarters of footy, they only kicked 2 behinds, and the Bulldogs went unscoring, really. They kicked 1 behind in the second term and didn't trouble the scorers at all in the third. So while Carlton weren't scoring, the Bulldogs weren't putting that pressure on the other side either, and they kind of maybe let Carlton get away with it for a little bit. They had their opportunity to strike when the Blues couldn't, but they weren't able to set the scorers too much trouble either.
James, let us know, as we're seeing some highlights run through, let us know some of your better players from today's clash.
Well, I think the Hosking sisters were great. Jessica more so, despite that tackle, pretty unlucky tackle on Mullins.
I would have gone the other way. I would have gone Sarah as my better.
I thought Sarah put him today.
Jessica late. I saw her late in that last quarter when Carlton really had to push forward and make the seal. I thought Jessica was really good in those stages.
Everyone has their own best players.
And mind you, if you could, I think you'd have 16 Hoskings running around.
Yeah.
You'd have a ruck and maybe a full forward or back, and then you just have 16 Hoskings everywhere else.
Yeah, I think they wanted quintuplets or something instead of the twins. I also thought Brown Moody won the ruck battle, should I say, against McMahon. Prisparkas, of course, she's good every week, and she had another really good game. A bit quiet after half time there, but still played her normal game, probably racked up still about 30 disposals.
Well, it's just her ball usage. We saw how she always looks to bring other players into the contest, that she makes sure she centres the ball, puts it to someone in a better position, and that's what I really enjoyed about her game today.
I said it a couple of times, she stops, lowers the eyes, and just doesn't rush forwards and not that she's not taking her first opportunity, but she just takes the extra second to think about it, lower the eyes and find the right person. It ended up being at least 1 goal, a couple of shots on goal were results of that, a little bit of extra time and class. So, yeah, really good today.
Certainly was. So, basically, top spot on the ladder is open for the taking. Richmond, if they win this afternoon up against NT Thunder, can claim top spot. I don't think Collingwood, if they win today, yes, they can. They can claim top spot as well. If they get a win, which are in a commanding lead up against Darebin at the moment, they can also go to 20 points and take top spot. So the Bulldogs will just be looking at those other results to see how far they fall from top spot on the ladder. We might say farewell to our video stream audience. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Next week, we're headed down the highway. We're headed down to Geelong for our video stream game, and it will be Geelong versus the Casey Demons next week. So make sure you tune in from 11:30 next week, and we'll make sure we see you next weekend here on the video stream. We'll see you next week. And as we stick with our audience here